Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you for joining us tonight. Um, Whoop, I just realized I had my sound on. Let me turn that off. There we go. How's everyone doing? How are you all having a good day? I hope it has been, as usual, a busy day here. If you're out there, please say hi. We'd love to know that you're here with us. Um, Andrew is resting right now. He was up most of the night, again, working on things. We're working on a debut of some of his newest, latest things. We're going to do a drop on the online store tomorrow. Um, it's probably going to be tomorrow evening. After I get home from the store. We're also going to have our live, so that's a whole thing. But well, at least I think we're going to have our live tomorrow. But let's see. Anne is here. Hello, Anne. Norma is here. Hello, Norma. Sorry, my one eye is acting up today. So I'm like squinting to see comments over here. So if you see me squinting, that's why. I've gotten to that age, I think. I never thought it was going to happen to me. Isn't that the thing? Never thought it was going to happen to me, but I've gotten to the age where I have to squint to see small text on my screen. Um, I've actually, uh, I used to give myself more desktop space by making my desktop, smaller. And over the past few weeks, I've noticed that that doesn't work anymore. So a little while ago, I had to make my desktop bigger. I've hit that point in time. Um, like I said, never thought it wasn't supposed to happen to me. Never thought it was going to, wasn't supposed to. Um, but I now have to make my print bigger to see it. At least at this distance. Um, but yeah, so life, I want to start out by saying thank you to all of those who saw Andrew's post yesterday and really boosted your support for us. There may be some new people watching, I don't know. But if you are out there and that was you, thank you. To all of our live viewers who watch almost every day, you're already like doing the max, and we appreciate it all the time. Um, but Andrew talked about how 2025 was a really difficult year, coming off of another really difficult year, which was 2024, when so many things happened to the both of us. So it was nice to see some names that we haven't seen. I got some orders in the online store from people that have not ordered in quite some time, and we're very appreciative of that, kind of reactivating and some people that have never ordered, at least in the online store that we built off of Shopify, no order history at all. And so it's been quite some time for them, or uh, or never, or they haven't ordered before. So we're so appreciative of that. And like I said, the people who watch these lives all the time, we are like extra thankful for you all the time because you do really help keep us going, keep us going. Um, and we're just trying to bulk up some online things. That's why we'll be doing Andrew's drop in the online store tomorrow. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining us. Um, yeah, we'll be doing the drop in the online store tomorrow because we're trying to activate the online store a little bit more and get people to um, get used to using it. I was searching, I could not remember a name. I have some beads tonight, artisan beads, because people were asking for some artisan beads last night, or yesterday afternoon, actually. And I found some here, and like I said, Andrew's resting, so I had to find some that I knew I was able to let go of, but I couldn't remember their name, and I knew we had some of their beads in the online store, and so I looked up artisan beads in the online store, and even I forgot some of the artisan things we have in the online store. And we have some nice stuff in there, some nice lamp work, some glass cabochons, um, really beautiful pieces, and I'm like, wow, these are actually still here. And so there are things in the online store even I forget about. So we're trying to think of ways that we can reactivate people and also show people that we have these beautiful things, um, without always feeling like it's a selling thing, like directly, like here's this link here, like so that's what we're kind of looking into, and doing drops in the online store we are hoping um, will help. So we'll see. Um, if we are able to do drops in the online store and people, sometimes people just grab the things from the drop and then that's it. But hopefully that will get people used to going to the online store a little more, and people who've never been to our online store might see some of Andrew's drops and want to go visit that. So we're going to try that and see how that works. Um, we also worked on today the news that we are having a mineral and crystal vault sale. We call it the vault sale. We have, I don't know how many boxes of raw crystal specimens, fossils. We have flats and flats and flats of them. And so, um, we've been sitting on them for a long time because it was just a little bit hard to, it was just hard to figure out how, like, we like everything in the store to be super pretty and try to, have bowls for everything. And with crystals like this, the rough stuff, it's hard to find display space for it all. So we are going to be selling these right out of the flats. This is going to be like a down and dirty kind of gemstone sale, crystal sale. I don't know what you want to, we called it the, I think the crystal and mineral. What do we call it? I forget what I called it. Um, crystals. We didn't call it specimens because Andrew's like, you have to think there's another word, like specimen can also mean like some bodily things happening, right? So that's not, we didn't want to call it that. Let's see, Diane. Hey, Diane. Andrew teases with pics of rocks. I've never seen send dollars with fingers. How can we purchase things? um, the uh, the Yeah, I took pictures of those. Andrew shared them from there. I took the pictures and posted those today. We decided to let kind of ramp that up. We're going to be sharing lots more pictures throughout time. We have shown some of these specimens to you all. It has been quite some time since we've shown them. And so if you see something that you would like to purchase, I have not priced everything yet. That's the hard part. I've not even organized it. Like today, when I was taking pictures, I'm like flipping open lids, taking pictures, closing them, and putting them in the car to take them to the store to start pricing and working on them. But if you do see a picture of something that you want, probably the best way to do it is to like take a screenshot of that and email us. And what I can do is I can find them, figure them out, and send um, pricing information for you. Um, that's probably the best I can do right now. Um, we've thought about doing these specimen shows. The problem with that sometimes, hey, Susie, thanks for being here. I also saw, oh, Vicky's here too. So my eyes are also, in addition to not being able to see right now, they are extremely dry, and I don't know why. I need to get drops is what I need to do. Norma says, I forget to check the online store now that I'm watching the lives most nights. When you do a reminder and I look, I often find things I'd forgotten about. So the reminders are a good thing. Yeah, we're trying to do that. But back to these specimens, what we found, we do sell some specimens in the online store, but I think some of them I've taken out. What ends up happening um, is that they are very difficult to ship sometimes. Um, because sometimes they're fragile, sometimes they break up, sometimes like you can't pack them together because sometimes they rub against each other and they start to erode away. It's very difficult. So we have kind of backed away from selling them a lot online. The places that do sell them online, I mean, good for them. I don't know how they get things to arrive to people sometimes. We have shipped them before, we have sold them before, but there are sometimes issues with that. But that all being said, if you do see something in any of the photos we share in this event or for this event, and you want something, you know, y'all are the first to have dibs. If you if you want it, you get it. Just send us an email. Like I said, probably the easiest thing to do is to take a screenshot of it or save the picture to your phone or device and circle the things you want. I'll try to find them. Um, if we show a flat of things, if you pick a particular one, that might be hard. But if you say, I want one of these and just send the picture, that's easier. Um, and but yeah, if you want to pick, I can do my best to find it. Like I said, I packed the car up with a bunch of the boxes, a bunch. I mean, probably an eighth or a tenth of what we actually have. Um, just here at the house. We have more at the cottage. So um, I packed the car up today and I was taking pictures as I was going. So I'm going to start pricing things. I'm giving myself time before like we're not having the sale until the 30th. And so I'm giving myself lots of time to try to price this out and organize it. But it is going to be kind of down and dirty. We're going to put up tables, we're going to put the flats out, we're going to have prices on stuff, um, and we're going to try and sell as much of it as we can. We had plans to do some things with some of it, but most of it was always meant to be sold. We just found that selling it online, because that's what we planned on doing, um, was a little bit difficult and dangerous to ship some of this stuff. And also, we were going to do it in store, and we had a lot of them in store when we were here in Ligonier. Um, but like I said, we always wanted it kind of more pretty, and it takes up so much space, and we don't have that kind of space in our Johnstown store. So, like I said, we're going to put up some tables, we're going to open some flats, and we're going to have a fun sale of rocks and crystals and fossils. But Diane, like I said, if you do want things, please send us emails, send us screenshots or photos. Um, you can comment on the photos we share, but um, we don't always see those, and that's the thing. Um, we can't always look back at everything, and so looking back to see if people have or have not commented is hard. If Facebook happens to tell us you commented, we'll see it. Otherwise, it's not always a sure thing. Um, but um, but yeah. Um, let's see here. The sand dollars with fingers. I don't know. I don't remember that one. Um, did Andrew share more? He may have shared more. I don't know. I was away for a while. I should look because I don't remember the sand dollar. I don't remember me taking a picture of that. So maybe he did share extras that I don't know about yet. Let me take a look. He may have been doing that. Um, he's tricky like that sometimes. Let's see here. He did take more pictures. Yep. Well, isn't he something? I don't even know when he did that. Um, I don't have any clue when he did that. Um, yeah. So I don't know when he grabbed those photos, but I will see what I can do about if you send pictures. And yeah, This is almost like gear notches. Yeah. And that, I think Suzanne also asked about getting some things, um, but we did throw everything in the car. So we'll have to see where they stand and where they're at right now and where everything. I have to find it. But yeah, I'll see what we can do. Um, okay, let's see here. Sorry, I jumped to myself and my other screen flashed. I used to be able to open one tab as Allegory Gallery in Facebook and another tab as me in Facebook. But now, as soon as I switch, it's switching both tabs, which is wild, I think. Um, let's see, who else is here? Anybody out there? May joined in. Hello, May. Thank you for joining us. Um, so that is what's going on. We started that. Um, Today for Beat in the New Year was to make a project based on your favorite character in a book. Did any of you all do that? I have not been online, obviously, because I didn't know what Andrew was sharing. I have not been online much today, and because we were out doing a bunch of different things today. We went to this morning. We went to the garage to pick up our van, and my mom met us because she picked up my dad, and um, we had him, and my mom followed us, but we had him drive along with me to take the van back home or bring it back home because he was a mechanic and auto body specialist, and um, we wanted him to have a listen and kind of get a feel for how the car was driving. So he drove with me, and we drove the van home. Thankfully, it seems like everything is good. Um, it's scary though because well, it was scary. Like this worked out very well, thankfully, um, and it's a lot better than it could have been um, because when we were in Italy. They got news about the van, and at one point, I got um, a message from my mom when we were in Venice. Well, I don't think we talked about this. Um, we were in Venice, and we got a message from my mom asking if the van was still under any warranty or how much we had left on it. Um, as far as the price, how much money is left on it from the car loan. And that was a scary moment because at that point, the garage thought that the transmission was completely gone, and um, and was wondering about any kind of transmission warranties or mileage warranties, anything like that. Which we are not. We do not have one because our car is older than that, than what the warranty was, and so. Um, that was scary, and that was my mom was trying to make it like, don't worry, we're just looking at things, but at the same time, when you get asked questions like that, it's a little bit of panic when you're in another country, which we weren't used to anyway, and um you know that this could really be a terrible, terrible thing because it is not paid off. um and it would be pretty awful to um, have to deal with all that if the car, still having the car loan, if the car was not drivable anymore at all. So thankfully, my brother did some research online and found somebody who had a similar issue, and they figured out a way to fix it. And so my brother passed that along to my mom, who passed it along to the mechanic. And the mechanic tried it because he was willing to do it, thankfully. He had talked to multiple transmission specialists, because he's good at stuff, but he's like, I have people who I know who are specialists at this, and they were saying that it was pretty much to be, junked. Or you could replace the transmission maybe, which would be a lot of money. Um, and they were saying it's pretty much fried. Um, and thankfully, he was willing to try what my brother found. And so far, it has worked. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that it keeps working. Um, but so far, our blue van, Stella Bluebell, is back in the parking lot now. And we're okay, thankfully. Um, and so that was a scary thing, but we picked up the van today. We had the mechanic keep it for a while so that he could drive it, just to kind of, make sure it was okay. But of course, he works all day and he didn't want to drive it at night because there are a lot of deer out at night and it's very dangerous. And so he only got a few, like 20 some miles on it. But he said he feels like it's going to be good. And then we drove it home. My dad said it sounds really good. It feels good. It's shifting again. So it seems like we're okay, thankfully. So that was a good thing to the beginning of the day. And then we released the news about the the gem and mineral show that we're doing. We did that in the afternoon, and Andrew made some lunch for us, and so we ate, and we did that. We created all the marketing kind of for that. I still have to write a blog post a little bit about it, so we advertise on the website, trying to access things on the website more, like making blog posts so that people go there and read it. Hopefully, I got to send out some emails about it, but we mostly wanted to work on social media today, creating the Facebook event that we would link to everything, because most of our people are on Facebook, and the Facebook group, the groups in Johnstown, are pretty responsive to what we do, so we are sharing it in the Facebook groups as well on Facebook, the Facebook groups on Facebook. I'm a little tired today. Let's see here. Susie S., how was pottery? Anything exciting? Oh, pottery last night. I did get my test tiles back, and I guess I could show you those. They're downstairs. I guess I could bring them up. I made myself some tea. Isn't this beautiful? I love the, speaking of pottery, I love this mug. This is by our friend Gina Chalfant, of White Swan Illuminations, White Swan Studios in Pittsburgh. And she does these decals. She makes these decals and then she puts them on her pottery. And I love her pottery. We have a good number of pieces of hers. I've broken some. We've broken some over the years, unfortunately. Um, but I do have a good number of them, and I love her stuff. I absolutely adore her stuff. So I made myself some tea because I was cold up here today, and now I've been sitting here long enough, working on things, that my tea is cold, and I didn't make it strong enough. It's a big mug, and I only put one tea bag in. I should put two. It's decaf, Earl Grey. Um, Carly says, I'm glad the car stuff is going okay. Thank you. Also says, a deer just hit my new lease car a few weeks ago. I about had a heart attack. Thank gosh for insurance. That's for sure. Deer hits. I've hit two deer. I've hit two deer. One was in the Jeep that we used to have. And that kind of ended that Jeep. It had some issues before that, and then once that happened, it kind of ended that. We had gotten a new radiator for it, and we never got it in, because some other things started happening too. And so, unfortunately, that ended that, and we sold that off for junk. Somebody will, buy it for junk part, or for, you know, buy parts of it, parts Jeep, um, parts car. And then I did hit one um, in our little Suzuki, but it was like a tap. Like I barely hit it, but I hit it, and I had to pull over and check. And thankfully, there was no damage at all. And I hope the deer kept going, so I hope the deer was okay too. Um, but that was scary. And I've had very many close calls recently. There are a lot of deer out on the roads right now. The weather is still, there's not a lot of snow. Um, we've had some snow, but right now there's not a lot of snow, and it's pretty warm. Like I think it was 40 some degrees today. I don't know my watch on for the temperature, but I think it was 40 some degrees today. And um, they're just out and about, and they come out. They're crepuscular, so that dusk and dawn kind of movement. Um, they're out when it's hard to see, and you got to be careful out there. Let's see. Um, Norma says, I haven't seen any day 8 photos so far. Um, Oops, let me see if I missed some. Oops. Oh, Norma's talking about checking the online store, and Vicky was saying, Norma, I'm the opposite. I miss many lives and go to the website to see AG goodness, but no, I have missed out on different goodies found only on the lives. Yeah, it's we do things everywhere, but we're very thankful for people who order wherever you order, um, and help support this little small business that we have. Susan's here saying hi to everybody. Hello, Susan. Um, Other Susan there's been watching the Great Pottery Throwdown and thinking of you. I love that show. Other Susan Surreal says I once almost hit a coyote. Yikes. Yikes. That's wild. Coyote. Um, yeah, the Great Pottery Throwdown, if you've not watched it, is an amazing show. Love it. And they're so nice, and the judges are so nice, and it's an amazing, feel good kind of show. And it's a competition, but it's a feel good one. But back to my pottery, I did get my test tiles back. They did not come out like I had hoped. None of the tests came out exactly like I thought in my head. They looked better before they were fired to me. Um, so I don't know. I think the testing that I was doing on them isn't going to work out the way I want for pots. So we'll have to try something else. But I did get on the wheel. I have not been on the wheel, the pottery wheel, for many, many weeks, possibly multiple months. I know I've not been on it since I came back since we came back from Italy, and I was not on it, I don't think, much before that. So um, it's been a long time, and I could tell. I was not, um, I was not very, what's the word? Proficient. um, and my teacher was like, what did she say? Um, I forget what she called me, because I was just making things, and the moment they didn't go right, I just smash them and start over. Um, I was not not that I didn't care, but I was trying to, like I had no patience for, trying to force things to work. I wanted to get on the wheel. I wanted to practice, and if it wasn't working, move on to the next one. And so that's what I was kind of doing. And I went through a good bit of clay because very few. I made 2 vessels, but that's it. And and so it was maybe not the best use of time, but it was good to get back on the wheel. I've been doing more hand building of my little dishes and things, and um, I actually like that. I didn't think I would like hand building as much, and I've spent more time doing that recently than being on the wheel. And I used to love the wheel, but I feel like, I forced myself to go on the wheel yesterday. I didn't want to. I did not want to. I had things I could have glazed. I had things I could have hand built, but I forced myself to do it because it's been a long time since I've done it, and I needed to get back to it at least a little bit. So that's how my pottery class went yesterday. Um, uh, May says, deers here are cute, but they're eating our plants. Yes, they do that, right? They really do that. Deer love to eat the plants. And they do that here a lot. We have 3 pear trees. 2 of them have been killed off because of the deer. One of them is still fighting for survival, and it seems like every time it gets to the point where it's looking kind of lush-ish, the deer find a way to eat it down. Like, we try to put things around it, we try to, you know, the neighbors have dogs, like, they somehow get in there and get them. Um, and says, even though I watch the lives, it's worth checking the website every once in a while. I just looked and there's a toggle I've seen before, but now I have a project I need it for. Thank you. Thanks for looking. Yeah, that's the thing. Um, uh, we have to figure out a way because we put a lot in the online store. There are thousands of things in there. Um, but a lot of times, we were talking about this in the car ride today. A lot of times, I spend a lot of time and energy making listings and putting things there. We show it on social media a few times, and you know how that works. Some people see it, many people don't. And then it kind of sits there in the online store, and it happens to Andrew's artwork, it happens to my things, it happens to everything we put in there. And I don't know what the answer to it is and how we get around that. Um, I'm going to be resurrecting Beat of the Day. Um, at least I'm going to try. With Beat in the New Year, it might be hard to do also Beat of the Day because I'm doing a Beat in the New Year banner every day. But we might try and do Beat of the Day. Again, we focused mostly on Allegory Gallery Fine Pewter when we were doing that last year, but we might just pick other things too. It might be beads of the day instead of beat of the day or strand of the day. Um, but that might be a way that seemed to be getting some traction. Andrew said I didn't really notice it as much, but Andrew said it was starting to gain traction and people liked it. So um, yeah, yeah. Um, but things go into the online store, and then it's hard for us to figure out how we can, you know, share those and make people see them again because we do have so much there. And these lives, like, we cycle through things and we show things, and you may have missed it, so we show it again. But that's a hard thing to do in the online store when your main place of showing is social media, and hardly anyone sees that. Um, but if we showed things like 10 times on social media, I feel like it would be the same people seeing the same thing 10 times. And so we're trying to figure that out. And we're working on it. We're thinking of ideas. We might utilize our blog more. We might utilize email a little bit more that way. And like I said, various other social medias like Reels and Stories and things like that, a little bit more that aren't so intrusive, maybe. Not intrusive, but aren't so in your face. Like the timeline, I feel like if we just show products on our Facebook timeline, that's not what the timeline is for. And we've tried that before, and that does not seem to work. So maybe putting them in stories where people can take a look here and there and they might get a glimpse of it, or in reels. We seem to do fairly well when we do reels fairly often, so they seem to pick up traffic a little bit. So we're trying things. Um, let's see. Anna's here. Says I need the distraction today. Good. I'm glad you're here then. I won't ask you why you need distraction because that's probably what you need distraction from. So thank you for being here, and I hope we can provide that distraction for you. Um, um, oh yeah, that makes sense. Good vibes to you and your city. Yeah, that certainly makes sense. I won't even say, but yes. Um, Susan says you have the best deer salad bar in town. We do have a pretty good deer salad bar. Um, yeah, but at the at the cottage, we have a little bit of woods behind us, and the deer come in and out of there, and um, they find the beautiful things in the yard to eat. May says, I really appreciate the website also since I can't always purchase when items initially drop. I bought some Andrew Palmer pendants this year dated 2024. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are Palmer pendants of his in there probably from before that. And, they go in and, like we said, it's it's a little bit sad to us that there are still his polymer pendants that are dated 2024, or that any of his artwork from a few years ago is still out there. But that's what happens. Like, we're not a business that we sell out of everything all the time. But it is nice when people can go in and find things, and they do come across things that they love, and we're happy about that. Um, Now, if we could sell everything we ever made right away, that'd be pretty amazing, because um, that would enable us to keep making more and more and more and more, because we'd have the money to buy the supplies to make more and more and more and more and pay our bills. But there are things in there, and I'm glad. I'm glad that you're glad for it. I'm glad that you can find things in there too. Um, and I think there's something for everyone. We have things that, just like on the lives, we try to make sure that we have price points for everybody. Like, there are beads in the online store, I think, that start at like 15 cents or 75 cents. Um, and possibly less than that, actually. I don't know right now what the lowest price thing is. Um, but um, yeah, it is possible to get things. We want things at every price point, and that's important to us. And so I'm glad people are finding those. We do realize that there is a section on our website, of course, that says, if you like this, you may like this. And that works really well. Um, I can't even express how well that seems to work, because when we notice one person finding something, like, for example, we have these little, like, briolets um, on the online store. They're vintage check glass, and we have many colors of them, and you can buy them one at a time. And so somebody found them at some point and ordered a bunch of them, like a bunch of different colors. I think they ordered like one or two of each, and either doing earrings probably, or just testing it out to see if they like them. And then after that person ordered them, the next few orders that we got sometimes was a brand new person that was just ordering them. So obviously they found them after that person found them. Um, and they have been in multiple people's orders ever since. And so that does happen. The more people use the website, we find the more other people find our things. And that's one of the reasons we are trying to get people to use it a little bit more, is because it helps to surface the things that are there. If one person finds something special and there's multiple of those on the website, it surfaces that for the next person looking, or the next person who matches that same kind of demographic. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I didn't set that part up. It just does it. Um, and so it's pretty nice how that seems to work, and how it does surface things for other people. Um, let's see here. Um, Anna says, yes, tough days. Also had memorial service today for my sister's husband. Uh, I won't read that because that could be a trigger for people, but I'm sorry to hear that. Um, Heavy day all around. Thanks for the positive thoughts. I hope we can be a distraction. I don't want to make light of it, but I also don't want to hold you in that pattern right now. So um, we will try to be the best distraction we can. Um, so that is what's happening with us. Um, and we're looking forward, like, we talk about things, we're very open and honest. I hope we don't get people down too much. That's not the whole point of this. The point is to be open and honest about where we are, and with all of you. And we call this the AGB fam. We feel like it's a family, and we want people to know, because if people don't know, they can't support you, right? um, it's just like anything else. um, you have to let people know so that they're able to support you if you want that support. um, Anna says, exactly, don't want to trigger, love to all who struggle in any way. Yes, yes, very much, because we all have our struggles. um, and that kind of leads into what I was talking about. We are struggling a little bit here. Um, and that is just, it's just what's happening right now. But we are working on ways to try to make that better and to grow and to, keep doing what we love doing. And so we don't want to bring people down, but we like to let people know. Because I would hope, if any of you were going through things like Anna's talking about, that you would talk about it if you want, surrounded by support, right? That's what we're here for. And so this is much more than just a business. And I can't stress that enough. Um, and like I said yesterday, maybe it should be more of a business in our mind, and maybe some of these things would not be happening. But this is more than a business to us. It is a family. It is a community. Um, it is a place where artistic people can be themselves and however they come. And we hope that everything we do and everything we say and how we act fosters that. And, these lives, they are a place for us to talk to one another. And I know you're talking in the comments and I'm talking here, and that's why I try to read as many comments as possible. Um, and we try to discuss them amongst each other, and when the comments work here, I put them up on the screen when they start to work. But um, we want people to we want this to be more than that. And that's why we start every live off with about an hour's worth of talking. And that is not ideal for businesses trying to just sell things. Believe me, we've gotten a number of comments, sometimes okay comments, sometimes very nasty comments about too much talking in our lives. And we're obviously not for those people, and that's okay. But, um, I think in a lot of ways, um, sometimes the less people know about the people who own a business, sometimes it's easier to conduct business, right? Um, when you don't know who's behind it, when you don't know political beliefs, when you don't know religious beliefs, when you don't know anything about the owners of a business, um, sometimes it's easier for people to go to that business. And then once you learn things, sometimes that's harder. And we are very out there about who we are. Um, and we don't try and do it from the business in a way that alienates anybody. If you come respectfully, and all, the whole thing, we're respectful. We want people to be respectful. um but it is, um we have chosen a different path, obviously, in being who we are, trying to express who we are. You all know we are together. You all know we are married. We share a house. We have 5 cats together. Like, our lives. We are open about that, and um, we have chosen to do that. And that is something that um, can sometimes hamper the conducting of business in general as business. But at the same time, we we want to know who you are, and we want to serve the community that supports the things that we believe in. And by choosing that, we know we have automatically um, made smaller our possible audience, but we hope that the time we spend with people and the communication we have with people and the opportunities to get to know one another, make up for that. And um, yeah, that's how we've chosen to do it. And we're so appreciative of those who find us and match us and want to support that same thing as well. Um, I have a lot of comments here. Um, oh, Marianne's here. Hello, Marianne. Anna says, I haven't read all your posts on the struggles you and AG are having. Want to support you as well. And of course, the community. Thank you. We appreciate that. Um, Kimberly's here, says, hello. I took a little nap. Nice. Andrew's napping right now. So you were in good sleep time company, right? I I tried to get to bed early last night a little bit because we were getting up to get the car and trying to get ready for all that. And that's earlier than I normally get up, even though it was not early. But I had to get up and get ready and get a few things done. But I did still make it over to, I don't even think I said that. Um, After we got the car today, we went up to the cottage. Did I say that? I don't think so. We went to the cottage and I worked on some things, um, and did some packing and shipping for some of the orders that have been coming in, some of your orders out there. And Andrew came with me because he was looking for some things to continue his projects and some things that we're going to debut tomorrow. Hopefully, some of those things he found. I don't know what all he grabbed or what all he found. So I know some of the things he's debuting tomorrow, but I have to get pictures of everything and get the online store loaded up tomorrow, during the day, um, or else it's going to be a very late night drop. So um, he also told me he would not be in the comments for the live today because he will be resting. And then if he does wake up during the live, he will be working, because he's trying to get a few things finished before morning, I think, so that I can take them and get photos of them tomorrow while I'm at the shop, because I'll be at the shop tomorrow. Um, and Also, then very excitingly, I took Andrew home and then I came back out and met up with Jen. So I got to see Jen for the first time this new year and the first time in quite some time. We just went to Sheets, which is the gas station around here, and met up because she had bought something off of the D stash. And so we met up at Sheets and she we exchanged her things. And she was telling me, she's a bus driver now, in case y'all don't know. So she drives bus for school kids and also some charter things that she does. And she said it's day 4 of the school year. So day 4 of the back to school after Christmas break. And she said she already has had 5 people run the stop sign on her bus. So in 4 days, 5 people have run the stop sign. And um it's that I just, it doesn't surprise me, but it's ridiculous. Like it's very dangerous to be running the school bus stop signs when you have kids, and she does little kids. Um so there's that. And then the other thing was this one woman, when she saw the stop sign go out, she said that she watched her actually accelerate, like she was trying to beat the stop sign on the bus. And um, what the woman didn't realize is that there was a police officer right behind her. So the police officer pulled her over, but did not issue a ticket. Instead, the police officer said that they have to report it to their bus terminal, and the bus terminal has to file um, for that. I was like, what? So, um, I don't understand. Um, and then I guess one, the one person they did actually um, file against was because, the buses have recordings. They record so that they have constant looping recording, I guess. And I guess someone ran the bus's stop sign and yelled profanities about how um, the kids should, like effing get to their effing stops on time. And this was somebody just And they actually did file for that because the person was on the recording. They had recorded evidence of this person saying this, and they got written up for profanity or obscenities. Um, and I'm like, okay, so they write people up for obscenities, but not for like flooring it through the actual stop sign. It's insane. She was telling me all this. So um we just talked about things and crazy drivers and all that stuff. The stuff you do when you catch up after a long time. But yeah, it's I was just so like I shouldn't be surprised. I was kind of surprised, kind of not surprised, but just kind of let down by like how can you possibly see, like, I don't have kids, but I see a school bus and I would not even think of running that red stop sign. It's just insane to think that you could injure a kid possibly and you're still going to do that. I don't get it. I don't understand people sometimes. Um uh um okay, what's everybody saying here? Anna says those things are what make your small business unique, and I value that. Thank you. Norma says sometimes it can do the opposite, and people will want to support the business partly because of who you are. Yeah, I think I there is that. I still do think that you know, I think you can build a very very loyal support base that way. I think you can build it that people are more loyal that way than the other way. But I think you can have a more widespread. You always have a more widespread possibility of selling if you don't talk about anything like that. Because if people don't know, they don't know that they don't want to support, right? So they usually will if they can. Um, when automatically when you choose a side or when you choose a thing or when we found as you let people know that you're gay, um, it, which was a big thing for a while, still is, still can be. Um, but when you do that, you're automatically, you're severing yourself off from a chunk of people. And you just hope that the people who do find you, like you all out there, are super supportive and are, become super loyal and you all are. And we're so appreciative of that. And we try to be loyal back in that we try to give back as much as we can, and we try to make sure that we're giving you always the best prices we can, and all that business stuff, but also that we create this atmosphere where people hopefully can be themselves and can share and can relate and can, you know, um, be creative. That's important. Um, and it says, tell Andrew we support that decision to nap and not be in the comments, right? Yes. Norma says, that's such a problem with school buses. I don't understand what's wrong with people. I know. Susan says, that is crazy. This says, people are so stupid. I know. And this is, dang, that is outrageous. Putting um, the filing on the bus driver company. Yeah. And so they always have to do that. If somebody runs a red light, it is up to the driver to catch the license plate. It's up to the bus driver to catch the license plate of the other driver and then file that report with the bus company. And then the bus company has to file the report with the police. And maybe they'll get a ticket if they have enough proof. Um, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me that a police officer who saw it happen would just let somebody go with a warning. I can't I can't even imagine. Um, and this is it's so dangerous. Yeah, it is. Marianne says, some idiot behind me tonight flashed his high beams a couple of times because I was only doing 50 kilometers in a 60 kilometer. Yeah, there's a place, I get that, because um, there's a place at the cottage. It goes to 55, at least I'm assuming. It says end, and usually when it says end, it goes up to what the normal speed limit is, and it's 55 here, miles per hour. And so I oftentimes at night go 45 because, and I know that probably annoys some people, but there are so many deer. There are many, many open fields around that area, and the deer constantly run from one side of the road to the other through the fields. Um, and there's things like a cemetery there, so they run through there. It's big and open. Most people who have houses there have some pretty big lawns, so there's always this big open space, and the deer just they don't they don't know it's a road, right? They just run through it. And so there are many deer there, and so I'm always going a little bit slower just in case. Um, and yeah, people will flash you, people will like ride right on you, like that's gonna help. Like that just makes I just slow down. If somebody rides me so hard that they're like right back, I just start slowing down. I'm like, you can go around me. Go ahead. You're already disobeying traffic laws by being so close to me, possibly flashing your high beams at me. You may as well disobey them and go around me if you're so tempted, you know? Um, yeah. So I'm sorry that happened to you, Marianne. I get it. I get it. People are, yeah. Um, Susan says, I was once in a train accident because someone was trying to beat the train and the train won. It takes a long time for a train to stop, and then we needed to wait for a new crew in the heat. That's terrible. But people do that. They do. It's insane. Um, Anne says, I really feel more comfortable buying from businesses where I know the people share my values. Otherwise, I run the risk of finding out I spent money supporting hate. It's a terrible feeling. Yes. You know, um, and I think the people that like us and that we, tend to gravitate towards as well are people like that. Like you, Anne, and I like to do that. I like to make sure I'm supporting. Some people just don't care, right? They don't care. They need something, they're going to buy something. Um, and I can't do that. If I know there's something terrible going on, um, I can't in good conscience support it. Um, and it's not like we have tons and tons of money to be supporting tons of things, but the money we do spend, we want it to be spent on things that we care about, and in ways that we you know would vote for, or ways that we would think, or ways that we do think. um Susan says, exactly. And Anna says, can I just say that Governor Walz has declared a day of unity tomorrow at 10 a.m.? There will be a moment of silence. Please join us if you like. That's nice. That's nice. Um, Susan says, thank you for sharing this. And says, I will be there with you, Anna. Thank you. Um, Marianne's asking where you are because she's trying to match the time. Yes. So in Central Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. Yeah. What is that? 10, 11, 12? Is that 12? Is that noon Eastern Time? I can't. 11 or noon. I'm terrible with that. Like, I know Eastern and I know Pacific. The other two in the middle, I always forget which is which. Um, so yeah, yeah. 11 Eastern Time. Okay, so it's the next one over. 11 Eastern. Okay. So it's Eastern, Central, what's the other one? Then Pacific Time. Can't think. All these things that you learn in high school, right? Um, Susan says it's 11 Eastern Time. I have a Zoom meeting 11, but we'll go a minute late. Nice. Anna says, I spend my money wisely. I might pay more for something, but it's important to me to support small businesses, LGBTQIA folks, the environment, unions, etc. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of how we are too. Okay. So yeah, my day was good. We did a lot. I still have a lot to do. Oh, mountain time. Thank you. That makes sense. There's mountains over there. Mountain time. Um, Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Thanks for joining in. Um, my day was good. I had fun. got to see my mom and dad, which was always good. My mom was going to be possibly babysitting um, our youngest nephew, Luke. Um, and so that would be, I don't know if she got to or not. I haven't been able to check up with her yet. Um, but yeah, it was a good day. And there's still more to do before the end of the day, but I'm kind of starting to wear down. Um, I hope I'm not getting a cold. I I took some vitamin C and some vitamin D just in case. Um, I think it's just in my head because my eyes are dry. And I'm feeling like it. I was like, we were just with those high school kids yesterday, and then my eyes are dry, and I'm like, I think it's just dry eyes. They're getting, you can see them probably too. They're getting red. Um, so I'm trying. I'm drinking my tea, drinking enough water. I'm gonna try and get some rest tonight. I have to be at the store. I have to make sure I'm on time tomorrow because I have somebody coming to pick up some stuff and I don't know when they're coming. They bought online, they're going to pick up in store. Sometimes I'm running late in the morning because I stop at the cottage, and hopefully the pellet stove is okay and I don't have to have any problems starting that and all that. Um, but I have to make sure that I leave myself enough time to not be late. Normally I'm like, if I'm a little bit late, it's okay. Not tomorrow. I can't be late. So I'm going to try and get some rest tonight, good rest, and be up bright and early to head out tomorrow. Um, ba, ba, ba. So yeah, that's that is that's what's going on here. How are you all doing out there? I know some of you are going through some things, but everybody else, how's it going? Have you had a good day? Are you what'd you have to eat? So Andrew the other night made some stir fry, and we had stir fry and rice. And yesterday I made when I got home from pottery class, Andrew was napping, so I made some uh tater tots again. I had half a bag of tater tots left. So I made his tater tots with cheese and ranch and salsa and tomato and lettuce. And it was pretty dang good, I have to say. Sometimes I just love that as food, kind of comfort food. Um, but the day before, Andrew had made stir fry, and we didn't have enough. And I bought vegetables and things to make more, but I didn't want to make more last night because he made it really good, and I didn't want to mess it up by adding things to it, because it probably needed more sauce. And I don't know anything about what he put in it, but it was so good. And so I made the tater tots last night, and then today for lunch he doctored it up. And the night before he was like, it could use some pineapple because we don't normally put pineapple in, but like a good sweet and sour sauce with pineapple and vegetables. So I had gotten a can of pineapple, and he added it to it today, and it was so good. So we had that for lunch, but I need to make more rice so that we can also finish some of that for dinner. And I am looking forward to that. I'm going to do this live. Then I'm going to hopefully sell a few things to y'all. Hopefully, you'll grab some stuff. And then I'll do the spreadsheeting and invoicing. And then I'm going to go take a shower to get myself ready for bed and make some rice while I'm taking a shower, and then be ready to have some dinner. And then I'm going to try and go to bed early. If I have to take something to knock myself out a little bit, maybe a melatonin or a valerian. Valerian doesn't always knock me out as much as some of the melatonin that we got from Italy is like a powerhouse pill. Like, but it also does have valerian in it, and I think it L-tryptophan in it, and a few other things. So it's the pill is like this big, but it and it stinks. It stinks. I love the smell of valerian root, and I still think it stinks. Most people think the valerian stinks. I kind of like the smell. I actually really like the smell. But this pill knocks you back a little bit when you open the container. And as soon as you put it in your mouth, you know that you've put that pill in there, even if you don't breathe. Um, but that one like knocks me out. So I don't know if I used to have just plain valerian, and it calms me down and helps me sleep. Maybe I'll just make another thing of tea with I think what do I have? St. John's wort, I think, that I put in my tea. Maybe I'll just do that. But I want to calm down and hopefully go to sleep early so I can get some really good sleep and then get up early tomorrow and start it all over again. Got lots of stuff to do tomorrow. Got a plan for tomorrow. Um, um, Marianne had McDonald's because I'm tired since we packaged up twice the usual number of tortilla chips. Oh boy. Anna says that sounds like a lovely magic pill, William. Yeah, I I don't use them too often because um it can give me some wild dreams. But the last few times I've used it, no wild dreams. I actually feel like I've not been dreaming a lot at all lately, and I usually remember my dreams. So I kind of like dreaming. Because I do remember them. Most of the time, they're weird, but not scary or bad. And it feels like kind of a getaway. Like it feels weird to be like that. But I feel like going to sleep sometimes feels like a little getaway because I dream of different things and I remember them. And I don't necessarily lucid dream. I have not gotten to that point in my dreams where like sometimes I'll recognize their dreams, but I can't control them. Like lucid dreaming is more, I think, you know you're in a dream and you can kind of make things happen. I've done that once or twice. Um, but um, usually at the moment that I realize that I'm dreaming, I wake up and I've not been able to stay in the dreams like that. But they are very vivid sometimes and they're usually kind of fun. Like a lot of times the things I dream about um, are like uh visiting friends in this little like I was dreaming one time I was walking down this alley and we were going to play we had no it was a book club meeting. We were having a book club meeting with friends and we were in this town. I don't know where we were. It was where we lived in the dream and we were going there and these friends had this cute little stone house like you see in like I don't know, kind of like old movies or you might see in Europe. And it was down the cobblestone street, and they had this beautiful window that was lit up. And we walked inside, and they had this little, um, almost like a banquette built into underneath the window. And we all sat down, and it was just kind of that was the dream. And it lasted a longer time than that. You know how dreams kind of do. Um, and then another time we were looking at we had bought a house and there's this big stairway, like cement stairs that walked up to this house and we walked in and the house needed work, but um it was 2 stories and they had this big staircase going up and you could see through the center and there was like hallways around the house. It was like a big house. It was like, oh, we bought this huge house, but it wasn't expensive and we had to work on it and but it was just like that kind of thing. So my dreams are kind of um, can be kind of fun and interesting. Sometimes they get weird. Sometimes they do get really scary or like bad things come up. But um, like one time I did die in my dreams, um, which was kind of wild um, because that had never happened to me before, and I knew it was happening. Um, and so that was weird. That was a weird thing. But yeah, most of the time my dreams are pretty just like, I love when they're about different places. Like, one time I was dreaming that, um, we were living in this apartment and, um, it was just all about it was like, the fun people in the apartment. Like, we lived on, like, the 3rd or 4th floor of the apartment, and there were other people like, it was almost like this cartoony apartment building where there were all these people living in it, and we'd look out the back window, and we'd shout at each other and talk to each other, and it was like this apartment that looked like it felt like it was an apartment in a city, but instead you'd look out back and it was like it wasn't quite a jungle or a forest, but it wasn't the city. Like and it wasn't a small town. Like it was I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But but I have dreams like that. And so sometimes going to sleep is nice for me, even though I refuse to go to sleep all the time. And then I refuse to wake up when I am asleep because I think I enjoy my dreaming. That's part of it. I was talking about refusing. I always refuse to wake up. Part of it is because I generally like the dreams I'm having. And I'm like, can I just stay there for a little bit longer and sometimes not deal with real life? Avoidance. That's called avoidance, y'all, right? Diane says, I had a baked potato stuffed with smoked meatloaf and Gouda cheese, also fresh mango. Where do you get do you make your food or do you like get your food somewhere? Because you always, um, if you're cooking that food, that's delightful. Um, your food always sounds good. And I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, I wonder if she cooks all her food or if she just has a really good place to go to get these delights. um, But anyway, so about that magic pill, yes. Lately, it has not been making me dream very much, um, but it knocks me out. And the bad thing about it is sometimes it's very difficult to wake up from. I feel like, um, uh, so sometimes I oversleep when I need to do something. So that's why I'm not sure I should take it tonight. Um, Marianne says, "See, I'm so tired I cannot type." And Marianne also rarely remembers her dreams. Huh. Well, I would not like that. I like remembering my dreams for the most part. I enjoy that. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna do random tonight. I pulled some things from around the room here. I have some things from Andrew that I don't know if I'm actually allowed to sell. So I was hoping maybe he'd at least wake up before the end and then I can ask him because there's some really nice pearls that y'all may just love. But I also know some of these he does make earrings from sometimes. And these are shorty strands, they're like half strands. Um, one of them is not, it's a full strand. It's probably a full strand of those pearls. Um, but anyway, I'm not going to share them unless he does wake up before the end of this live because I don't want to get in too much trouble. But I am going to start the live with something really, really nice, I think. And um, it's a stone strand that is particularly gorgeous. And I think many of you probably have never seen it before. Some of you may have, because I know we did it at least once. We showed it once before, but it didn't sell. And Andrew was talking about keeping it, but he did not put it in his little special place. So I'm going to give it a go one more time. Um, if you like peridot, it's a gorgeous strand. I tried to look up an equivalent strand um, and what they go for today because I think this is probably underpriced and I just wanted to know. I could not find something that was just like this. Anywhere. So at least in the few moments I got a chance to look, normally I can find things pretty quickly, but this is nice and it's special. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll take a look at some of the other things I pulled and picked, and we'll go through some random stuff. We'll do about 30 lots tonight and see how it goes. Hopefully y'all like some stuff. Hopefully. If not, I didn't do my job tonight. Andrew's going to be like, William, why didn't you do a better job? Marianne says, just show me. we're gonna we're gonna do it. Diane says, yes, I cook most of it. Wow. That sounds really good. Smoked meatloaf stuffed with baked potato. I've never had a potato stuffed with meatloaf and Gouda. Sounds delicious. I will never have it either unless I start eating meat again. But it sounds really good. Susan says, Marianne, LOL. All right, let's flip the camera around. I've been chatting your ears off long enough. Let's see here. Where is my camera flipper buttons? Here we go. Let's get this set up here. All right. All right. Let me take a drink. And let me put up my little banner. Y'all know how to purchase from this. If you don't, and you're out there and you have no idea, um, let me know. But otherwise, we're gonna proceed because so far I've only seen names that know how to claim. These lots tonight are going to be sun lots because I realized that's a three-letter word and I've never used it. So sun lots. Um, Now this one, um, we had 128 on it at one point, and so I think that is a more than fair price for this. But I'm going to drop it even a little more. I'm going to do it at $98 tonight. And it's a beautiful peridot. It's a very big, chunky, monkey, gorgeous peridot strand. It is faceted. It is not dyed. These are natural peridot nuggets. It is so beautiful. These are big nuggets, faceted peridot, natural color. It's like this strand just goes on and on and on. And look at the light. And I saw some strands that were similar to this, not quite the same size, not as big of stones, and they were like 228, something like that. Um, so like I said, I think the 128 was a good price, but I'm gonna take it down to 98 for this live if somebody wants it. It is really an exceptional strand. And just to give you an idea, like this stone here is about 19 millimeters by 25 millimeters. That's one of the larger ones on there. This is one of the smaller, is about 15 by 15. And that's Sun 1. And I believe, where's oh, my ruler over here? I believe this is a 16-inch strand. Let me look. I was measuring things on the floor earlier. Yes, this is a 16-inch strand. And that's Sun 1. And we just sold Sun 1. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Hopefully Andrew's happy that's sold. um, and this is juicy. Norma says, oh my, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Marion was drooling. Susan said, I so wish I had the money for that one. Somebody grabbed it. Do appreciate that. I think that's an exceptional price. So we get a nice sale out of that, and you get a beautiful strand. It's win-win, I think. Yeah, it helps us tonight. Sorry, had to take another drink. My tea has gone cold. Diane says, good. I'm glad someone bought it. Thank you. Marion says, someone has some lovely peridot. They do. Lovely peridot coming, right? Okay. So this is one I think I talked about earlier about the artisan items in the online store. This is an artisan ceramic bead um, by Mary Lou Tompkins. And we have some of her beads in the online store. But we these are some of her quote unquote more basic ones. or this is one of them. She has faces. We have her faces in the online store. She's no longer living. Um, she passed away many years ago now, but we love her beads, and we still have a few in the online store. But these are some of her ceramic um, artisan beads. I love, she always has like these multiple holes through them. So there's the big hole there, there's a hole through there. You can hang them in various ways and you can play with the beads. They're super cool. This is Sun 2. It was 18, bringing it down to 15 for you all. And this ceramic bead is 17 by 39. And I know they're not for everyone because they're very different. Um, but getting into ceramics now, oh, there's another hole there. They're just, to me, they're super cool, and I admire the work in these. It's just very different. And like I said, if you check our online store and look up Mary Lou Tompkins, you'll see some gorgeous face beads that she has made, or she had made. All right, and here's another one of her beads, SUN3. And this is a smaller one, but in a matching color to the previous one. So if you wanted a little set, you can make them a set. There's a hole that goes that way and a hole that goes that way. And my screen just went. It must be 9 o'clock. Let me readjust here. There we go. So I can see the colors. Kimberly says, I got a couple. I love the ancient ruin look to them. Yeah, they just look so kind of old, and yet, you know, they're eclectic and they're just really neat. And I think these two together would be a nice little set. If you took kind of and worked them together. Um, I don't quite know how. Maybe do string through like silk or something through this one and then down through this one so they could hang maybe like this together, hang like that together. And if you put those together like that, then you could use that one right there at the top going through. So you could kind of make this into your pendant if you did a loop of silk through here or something, and then you could use this hole to string that onto a necklace. I think that could be cool. Just different ways you could play with that. And I think that would be really fun. And I love her beads. So I wanted to start with that. Um, the other bead that I have here is a personal one of mine. Um, do I have it here? Yes. This is a personal bead. I bought it. It was one of the very first beads. I think one of the very first artisan beads I bought. Um, and I don't even know if Andrew and I were living here in Pennsylvania or if we were still in New York. Andrew would take me to some bead shows every once in a while, and um, when I could go with him. And I can't remember. We might have been in Pennsylvania, but I'm not sure. Um, but we went to a bead show, and he introduced me to Joanne Zakowski. And Joanne Zakowski was so much fun, and I liked her so much. Um, she's the one that Andrew will sometimes talk about, how people would ask if the beads were sturdy, and I think she would throw them on the ground and be like, I guess it's sturdy. Like, she just had that kind of liveliness to her, and I really admired that and really liked her. And She didn't have by the time we got to the booth, I think she didn't have tons of stuff left, but this is one of the ones that she had. And um, I kind of thought it looked like one of those like old door handles. I don't know. That's what it kind of reminded me of. And so I bought this one from her. Now, she has also, we learned, passed away a few years ago. We lost touch with her. We stopped going to the shows. Shows stopped happening, obviously, and we lost touch. But I am selling this for the same price that we bought it. We were not a business when I bought this, so this is the price I paid. Um, but if somebody's interested in that, if it could go to a good home, I've never used it to make something from it. And it kind of sat in my collection for a while, but if somebody's interested in it, um, I just thought it was really, really pretty. And I love, like, it goes with winter white. Like, look how well it goes with that, with my sweater. Um, and so if somebody's working with Cloud Dancer, or versions of white, I think it could be a really pretty thing. So that's SUN for $40 for that. Just get my money back on that one. I don't know if her beads have appreciated in value since she's passed away or not, but that's that's what that one is. I sometimes hesitate to sell stuff like that, but at the same point, like, I have the memory, and um, I'm not going to forget that memory. And I have not used this bead. So if it can go to somebody who will use it, all the better. We've just sold 2 and 3. Thank you so much. I'm going to put those away. I appreciate that. Joanne was a character. She was a character. Um, and I only met her a few times, and my in my brain, in my memory, she's this particular person. Kind of remind I don't know, like um, I don't know, like kind of like not quite Julia Child, but she was taller, and like she just had this way about her. I don't know. I don't know if any of you knew her or not. Um, it was it was she's one of the first people I met, I think, in the beading world that did artisan glass, and it's just always stuck with me. Let's see. Let's do these. Do these at $1.50 each. These are some very cool vintage plastic. I love these. We only have these 4 left. I was going to sell them as a lot, but give people, if they want to buy a pair, it'd be $3 for a pair. But they're really, really cool. They're kind of there's that off-white again that I'm loving. Like, I'm finding that everywhere now. With a purple. So with an amethyst, tanzanite, they might be really nice with. Um, Beautiful color. Vintage plastic. These are about 16 and a half by 21 and a half. And I didn't give you a measurement on this bead. This bead is about 53 by about 48. Marion says, I can see a door handle. Yeah, right? It's like door handle into a magical realm. The realm of beads. Before I knew that I was going to be a store someday, there it is. I think that predates my my store life. Ooh, this is pretty. Bu- 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 You know what? Let's do a little bit. Let's do a little bit better. Come on. Sun 6 is this beautiful strand of various glass beads. Some foil glass there. Gold stone. Was 10, now $8 for the whole strand. More white beads. I did not plan this, y'all. It's just like seeping into my brain. Um, but I really was not like, let's find the white beads today. Or the off-white beads. I didn't do that, but it's happening. So this is a really nice strand of various glass beads. Sun 6. Normally I'm like SUN 6, but why not say sun? Sun 6. It was sunny today, which was so nice. The sun came out here and it instantly like helped my mood. Up, we just sold Sun 6. So thank you so much. That one is sold. Um, yeah, instantly helped my mood to have a sunny day. The cats and I went outside. That's another thing I did. I took the cats out today. So we went out not for very long because I had so much to do today. So they didn't get a long time out, but it was very nice. Um, um, Kimberly says, color of the year, fitting. Yeah, yeah. Now this is a precious little set of lampwork beads. Um, Oops. Oh, that's a shame. Never mind. It cracked. It's a shame. Here, I'll show you. This was a black swan, but unfortunately, in its bag, this cracked off, and it came with these little beads. So, never mind. That's so pretty, too. That's a shame. Well, I will sell at least these beads. How about that? These are really pretty. They're actually a deep red. Lampwork beads. So for those, let's do them at $3 for the pair. Just $1.50 a bead. That's a shame about that little swan, though. Black swan, little black beauty. But these are also sad swans, says Marion, right? Kimberly says glue. You could probably glue it. I'm not going to sell it, though. We don't want to sell stuff like that. No, but that's a shame. Yeah, but these have white again. White. Let's see. Let's Okay, that is a full strand. I have one of these. These are that tubular stitch silk. SUN 8. $6 for the strand. SUN 8. Tubular stitch silk. In this beautiful kind of what did you call that? A burgundy red? Kind of a burgundy. It's a slightly brown tint of red, right? Like almost not quite brick, a little bit more reddish than that, but I think it's burgundy. Right? Burgundy? Call it burgundy. I don't know. One strand available. That's about 1 meter. Or I'm sorry, 1 yard. 1 yard. All right. SUN 9. Let's see here. This is vintage hematite. Real hematite, not fake hematite. Let me get this. I need to get this thing off of here. Let's see here. Oh, two people just tried to get Sun 8. So Sun 8 is sold out. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. This is $12. This was more than that, but I'm going to mark it at 12 for y'all. $12. Sun 9. This is vintage hematite with some cat hair on it, apparently. Sorry about that. Vintage hematite in these little kind of, I don't know what you call that, a little barrel, a little, I don't know, they're slightly rounded on the edges, like slightly bulbous on the edges. But beautiful hematite, natural hematite, real hematite, 4 millimeters by approximately 4.5 millimeters. One strand. Really nice as spacers. I mean, as a lot of things, but it could be really nice as spacers for sure. Let me put this cans, says Marianne. Could be cans, right? I'm gonna put 8 away. That one is sold out. Thank you, thank you. Cans, hematite cans. All right, sounds good to me. And then this one, we got 6. I'll do 4. All right, next up, Susan said that's just a bonus gift. What's the bonus gift? I missed that. Missed that comment. So some kind of red. Yeah. This is a little strand of little crosses in a clear with a beautiful bright AB finish. This is a vintage strand as well. Look at that very, very colorful AB finish. $4 for the strand only. I've got a lot of fingerprints on it right now too. These are about 12 millimeter beads. And it is making like rainbows around the room here. I just saw something reflecting off my mug and was like jumped a little bit, but that was not it. Oh, the kitty hair. Yes, that's right. That's the bonus gift. Kitty hair. We try not to do that too much. I know that most of y'all have animals, so you're probably not that allergic to cats. Many of you have cats, but try not to send out too much cat hair into the world. That's why we close them off from this room oftentimes. These are $3 each, and I have multiples of them. I'm not going to count them right now. Marion says, I don't really need kitty hair gifts. Got a good supply. Wait, uh, uh, you don't want a haired Barnaby? You don't want specialized Barnaby hair or Gertie hair? It's very special, you know. Your supply is very different than my supply, right? These are beautiful. I believe they're mother of pearl cabochons. There's no hole. And sorry for my dirty fingernails. I was dealing with the pellet stove today. But these are beautiful cabs. They're tiny cabs. Not tiny. They're 13 millimeters by 18 millimeters. So they're not tiny, but they're small. they make great rings if you set things, or little charms if you want to set them. Um, but they're really lovely. And they're just beautiful. So if you'd like any of those, they're $3 each. I've got multiples available, little baggie of them. And they're ready for you if you want them. All right, I'm gonna put the Joanne Zakowski bead away. Nobody has grabbed it. So it's gonna stay in my collection, I guess, for now. That's okay. That's all right. You can stay with me. I'll have good memories of her. Um, and then 5. Nobody got any of those. I'm really surprised. I think, I don't know. Marion says, if you prove it's Barnaby's. Right? Barnaby has his own little fan club out there, I think. He definitely has his own little fan club out there. He's a good boy. He deserves to have a fan club. Okay. Next up, I love these. I love vintage plastic. You may or may not like these. Um, these are $8 a bag. SUN 12. These are bags of vintage plastic. You get all these beads for $8. And now they're not the same. They are different, but they're similar. They're going to have similar beads in them. And this, for example, is the one bag. Just so you can see what you might get. There are only 2, but they're really cool. These kind of like lapis-like vintage plastic beads. You can tell they were modeled to be like imitation lapis. Really, really, really nice beads. I love vintage plastic. If we stranded this up, it would be a lot more than $8. We sell a strand. Usually the strands are about this big for $4 a strand. I know this would be more, but giving you a deal on this one if you like vintage plastic. I'll show you the other bag too. Why not, right? What the other bag holds. I don't know how different it is. Andrew made these up some time ago. Here's the other one. It only has one of these large rings like this, but it has more of the rounds in it, I think. And some of the sea glass-esque looking sea glass-esque beads. So that's the other one. Marion says, he is my favorite of your cats. See, people love Barnaby. He's a good boy. I try to say that I don't have favorites, but he has definitely endeared himself to me. He takes care of me, makes sure that I'm okay. He sleeps with me almost every night. He's a good boy. All right. So those are, oops, I'll leave one bag out. SUN 12s. We sold some 11s. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, we just sold all of the SUN 5s, those vintage plastics. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I like those. I like those a lot. SUN 13. Lucky number 13. How about these? These were $10 a piece. I'll bring them down to $8 a piece. And let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 of them. Whoa, what is happening here? Okay. The reason these are expensive is because they're beautiful, but they also come from a strand that I believe the wholesale on the strand was originally $120. Um, so these are rutilated quartz. And look at the amazing amount of rutils in each one. There's one really kind of one big thick one in there. Super, super pretty. Look at that one. Kind of like a starburst or a spider web in that one bursting out. And these are really high end. This came from a high end strand that we took apart so that because no people aren't paying $240 for that strand. So we sell the beads individually. You can get a few beads from it for $8 a bead. And we're still probably not making as much money as if it was the whole strand, but at least you get something special and we get some sales hopefully out of that. So that's SUN 13. There are 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them available. $8 a piece today instead of 10. Beautiful big chunky stones. Just to give you an idea on size, this one is 18 and a half by about, about 28. 18 and a half by 28 on that one. All right, let's put some of these away to make some room. Alien spider, says Marianne, right? Alien spider. We've just sold 3 of these so far, so there are 6 left. You don't get to pick, but we'll try, they're all good. They're all good. They're beautiful, actually. No one grabbed that hematite. I'm really surprised. I thought that would go real quick. It's a really nice hematite string. Very different. Okay. SUN 14. Let's see, what kind of a deal can I do on these? SUN 14. These were 14. Bringing them down to $10. Strand of, these are lamp work. They're not artisan, technically considered artisan lamp work. Somebody made them. And they're beautiful, this red and blue. I've got 2 strands of these available, $10 each. They are approximately, with the little bumpity bumps, about 15 and a half millimeters. I love these. I think they're super pretty. I love these colors. SUN 14. Okay. SUN 15, halfway through tonight. Andrew made this lot once upon a time. He was doing these $20 lots for a while. For one show, I think he was doing a show of like nothing over 20. And he made some really nice lots. I'm gonna reduce this down to 15 for you. This is a really nice lot of stones. I don't know what all is in here. I don't know what this stone particularly is. If it's a jade or I don't know. It's nice. There are like 4 of them in there. And then you get this beautiful stone. This is a fossilized coral, which is probably could sell that by itself in the store for $15. Just that as a pendant. Then you get some Rudraksha, a few Rudraksha pieces, some crystal. African. A beautiful tiger eye. And a few others, snakeskin agate, ceramic, vintage Chinese ceramic. So you get the whole lot of those nice stones. Again, would go really well with a white, and that's SUN 15. All right, let me put some things away. Love that mix of yumminess, says Kimberly, right? It is nice. Very nice. I'm gonna put this away. Still available. Sun 10. Only $4. Just one. Nobody wants that one? $4? It's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna put the 11s away. We sold a few of those, but we still definitely have some left. These are those mother of pearl cabochons. Those of you who like cabs, they're really nice, beautiful cabs. SUN 11, Sun 11, $3 each. And SUN 12. Let me get a big enough bag for these to fit in. You know what? How about this? How about this? Before I put these away, mark them down to $6 each. Don't tell Andrew. $6 each for these vintage plastic lots. Got 2 of them. I'm going to move these over yet. We just sold one of the 14s. Thank you so much. We have one of those left. So if you want to grab it fast. Really pretty. And the Sun 15 as well. This whole lot of beautiful beads. Just drop the Rudraksha. I love Rudraksha. Did you know it comes from a blue fruit? The fruit of the Rudraksha is actually blue. It's pretty cool. Okay. SUN 16. Let me take a drink because I'm drying out over here. I love Earl Grey tea. Every time I make it, I don't drink it very often anymore because I don't always have the decaf. But every time I drink it, it transports me back. My old boss, who owned the British car parts supplier, also built a restaurant, and he would import because he always, of course, he was importing British car parts, so he could import British teas and foods and things every once in a while. And he would import Fortnum and Mason tin can, the tinned coffee or teas, and he always got English breakfast and Earl Grey, amongst a few others. As the restaurant grew a little bit, he would bring in more flavors, but he always had that at the restaurant, and I would go there pretty often. I worked there um, for a while, especially when I came back from New York. But before I left for New York in college and high school, I would go out and go to the restaurant and hang out and eat. And um, this is a fetish, a stone carved fetish. It is $8. There is one of them available, and the hole is drilled top to bottom through there. Carved stone fetish, $6. And so I would go there and hang out and eat and all that. And he had live music, so we'd stay and listen to bands. And they had some really good food. Like he had issues with his restaurant, and when I was back here, he had hard times with chefs. Is that's a I think that's a normal thing. Um, but when I was younger and would go there, he had some really good chefs, and they would do like an ostrich in a red wine sauce, and it was freaking delicious. Um, I had never had ostrich before, and every time I went there, I would get that ostrich. It was so good. But we'd always like I couldn't drink. I wasn't young enough or I wasn't old enough to drink back then. So I would always hang out and drink tea and have dessert while we were listening to the bands and stuff. And my friends would go with me. And so um it would always be loose leaf, Fortnum and Mason, Earl Grey tea, um, in a teapot, with hot water, and it was always loose leaf, and it was so good. And it brings me back to that moment in time, like every single time. Um, May ask, how does ostrich taste? Theirs was really good. They did it in a red wine sauce. They also did a portobello in that same red wine sauce. And that was amazing too, because sometimes I would have that instead. But the ostrich was it's a red meat, um, which seems weird because you don't think of a bird as being red meat, but it's like a red meat. And um, it is, if you do it well, like they did, it is so tender, um, and just like almost melts in your mouth. It was so good. It was so good. Now I would not eat that, but back then I did that stuff and it was good. I have to say. Let's see here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay. Sun 17. These are $3 each. There are 8 of them available. And these are African white opal. African white opal. We just sold Sun 16. Thank you so much. That's the fetish. Again, lots of white or off-white things that I'm picking that I didn't even realize I was doing. Um, but this is African white opal, and these are done in this kind of chiclet style. These are 12 millimeters approximately by 17 and a half. And there are 8 of them available. That's it. This came from a really nice strand. The strand was expensive, um, which is why these are $3 each. But they are amazingly beautiful. Marion says, I have had bear, venison, and elk. May says, the non-traditional meat I have tried was kangaroo at a now closed pub. Marion says, I don't really like red wines. I did like red wine back then. Um, but it was a thickened red wine, kind of sweet sauce, if I remember. It wasn't super sweet, but it was just good. The whole thing was good. Um, it didn't taste like wine, but it was made with red wine. Um, I've never had kangaroo. I have had bear, venison, and elk. I've also had caribou, um, and some other wild meats in the past. Um, yeah. Have I had bear? I feel like I had bear. I've had bear. My aunt's husband used to do a lot of kind of bigger game hunting, so he would hunt elk, caribou, moose, um, which I've also had moose, and um, then he also got a bear at one point too. Okay, the extra price discount did not have anybody, um, didn't entice anyone, so I'm gonna definitely put those away now. Bringing that down to $6 didn't help. That means nobody wants it. So I'm gonna put that away. Marion says the bear is very much like beef in taste, but the fibers are larger. Yeah, I can't remember. I know I've had it, but I honestly cannot remember what it was like. I've had a lot of different meats because of that. All right, Sun 13, we sold some of those, but we still have some available, but I'm gonna put them away. This is that beautiful, beautiful quartz, rutilated, rutilated quartz. Um, Sometimes they also call that, I believe, angel hair quartz because it looks like it has the angelic hair through it, right? Really pretty. Look at that. Wow. Really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna move those over. Move this over. I'm gonna give those one last chance now that I just showed them off. I have one more of these available. That's the 14. And this whole 15 still didn't sell. It was at $20. Bring it down to $15. Nobody. 16 did sell, so I'm going to put that away. Thank you. Nobody wants any of the African white opal beads so far, anyway. We'll see. We'll see if anybody grabs those. African white opal. Beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna move my drink over here. I'm gonna make room beside me though, because I'm running out of room. As you can see, my bags are overflowing up here. So I'm gonna move them over here now. Some of them anyway. And let's see here. SUN 18, Sun 18. These are beautiful strands of African recycled glass. I have 2 strands of these available, and they're this beautiful light green color of the African recycled glass beads. This is the strand size, $12 per strand, 2 strands available. These are about 16, well, 14 and a half to 16 millimeters, depending on which one you grab. 14 and a half to 16 millimeter beads, African recycled glass strands, 2 available at only $12 each. And this is the flavor depends on what the bear was eating at the time. So did you like what the bear ate, Marianne? She says yes. That's good. Oh, I think I hear one of my kids at the door. I can't remember what stone this is. I don't know. I'm going to pass on that one. Marion says, I wouldn't want to eat a bear that eats at the garbage dump. No, don't do that. Okay. This was 32. I'm bringing it down to 24. Sun 19. This is a beautiful jasper strand. And I picked this because I think with white, it could be really pretty. This is a really nicely done jasper faceted drop strand. Look at how pretty those are. It's a fancy cut for a stone that people don't consider generally a fancier stone, right? Jasper, but why not? Imagine one of those just on a chain. That'd be really pretty, especially if you were wearing winter white, right? So you have winter white, have a nice sweater on, you have one of those on a chain, nice little accessory to go out for the night. Beautiful color. Put it on a silver chain. You're really nice. $24 for the whole strand. And these, they are slightly, they're not really graduated. Just some are bigger than others as far as thickness. Some are more wide, some are skinnier. But just to show you, these are about 24 millimeters, and this one is about 11, 24 by 11. Sun 19. I think that's a really pretty strand. And I think it'll go really well with white. Marion says, foolish people who don't like jaspers. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I think this proves like you can make stones fancy. Like people don't expect jasper to be a fancy cut. But if you do it like this, it can be just as pretty as anything else. And if you gave that some fancy name and told people that it was this fancy stone, a lot of people would not know, right? Would not know it was just jasper, as they say. All right. Sun 13, I'm going to put those away. Didn't entice any more people to grab those. And Sun 14, where's the other one? Over here. Sun 14, we've got one of those left, only $10, down from 14. How's everybody doing? Hanging in there? All right, and the last one I'm going to put away is this bunch of beads. Sun 15. Oh, there's some of these too. I missed those, showing you those. I love these little kind of cube-ish tiger eyes. And those crystal, look how sparkly. Nice crystal. Sun 15, $15. Okay. So move these down. African white opal, $3 each. Sun 18, $12 each. 2 strands of the African recycled glass beads. And the jasper, fancy jasper. Although fancy jasper is a type of jasper, right? So that's just a fancy cut of jasper. I don't know. It's getting late, y'all. My brain isn't doing all that it can do anymore. Let's see here. These were at 50. Let me see. Let me take a look at this. What can I do on this? Okay, I'm going to give you all a really special price on these. These were 50. I'm bringing them down to 38. These are beautiful labradorite, fancy drops, very flashy, and yet almost clear stones, transparent stones, but still have amazing flash to them. Beautiful drops. They are faceted drops. Stunning, stunning quality. I think 76 carats or grams. I don't know if that's in carats or grams. The carats. Gorgeous strands. That is $38. One time only. Never gone down that low on those. One strand available. What's next? Everybody still doing okay out there? Everybody's gotten quiet. Two of these. Let's bring it down to. I can't take much off on these. I'm going to give you a little bit of a discount. A little bit. These were $9. Going to bring them down to $8.50 for y'all out there. And these are a bronze butterfly. Bronze butterfly charm. Two of them available. Look at the detail. Very pretty. And these are about 13.5 millimeters by about 11. 11? It's hard to grab these. Yeah, about 11. He's cooking dinner. Marianne's yawning. Kimberly's knocking out some returns, multitasking. Nice, nice, nice. SUN 21, $8.50 each. Two of them available. All right, I'm going to put, let's see, where's the bag for the African white opal? African white opal going away. I'm going to also put the African recycled glass beads away. $12 a strand, 2 strands available. All right, let's move the jasper down. Let's move the labradorite down and the bronze butterflies down. We just sold one of the bronze butterflies. Thank you. There's still one remaining. Whoop. I just dropped all my bag. I know somebody was looking for this. I think it was Cindy, and I don't think she's watching tonight. I don't know if she still needs it or not, but this is magnetic hematite coming up. This. Come on, let go. What do I do? Cut these off. I don't want to come apart. I'm going to try and untie them. I don't need to. Magnetic hematite. These are also $12 a strand. And I have one. Just all fell off. Guess I made the wrong cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 of these available. 6 of these available. Magnetic. Magnetic hematite rounds. They're really cool. Naturally magnetic. And hopefully this doesn't mess up my caliper. 6mm rounds. And that is a 16-inch strand. 16-inch strand, naturally magnetic hematite rounds, 6mm. $12 a strand, 6 strands available. What else do I have here in my little bag of goodies? SUN Sun 23. Sun 23, Peach Moonstone, beautiful drops, high-end drops. Peach Moonstone, look at that. Beautiful color and flash. These were 36 for the strand, bringing it down to 30. 1 strand only available. So gorgeous. Again, this is another beautiful color with a white or a winter white, because it's not quite, it's not orangey. It's that peachy color, and it's got that beautiful, almost kind of white or winter white flash in it. That should toy it. Very beautiful. 1 strand available, 10mm by 10mm. Sun 23. Sun 24. This is a strand of shell, I believe, abalone. Vintage strand. Was 18, bring it down to 14. Beautiful colors in there. Look at that rainbow effect. Those that give some really nice flashy colors to any design. I like holographic. They're so pretty. And let's see here. Sorry, I kind of got drawn into them. About 18 millimeters. You know, if I go quiet and staring at moving a bead around, it's usually because I'm got drawn in. About 18 by 25 millimeters. SUN 24. Lovely. And that's a lovely color. They're not, normally I feel like when you see such rainbows in them, they're more of a white color, whereas these are like a brown. And that's so pretty. SUN 24, vintage strand. Okay, no takers on the Jasper. I'm going to put the Jasper away. $24. Only one strand available, down from 32. I tried, Jasper. I tried. Tried to find you a home. All right. And same with you, Labradorite. Tried to find you a home. Brought you down from $50 to $38. One strand available. Still have one of the butterflies left, $8.50 for the bronze butterfly. That's an old metal price. We have the magnetic hematite, 6mm rounds, $12 a strand, 6 strands available, vintage as well. We've got the peach moonstone down from 36 to 30, and we've got the shell down from 18 to 14. And I'm going to take a drink. One moment, everybody. Drink some of my juice. Okay. What do I have next? That's vintage classic. That's not a big seller. Okay. SUN 25. I'm gonna do this at $18. This is an onyx strand. Onyx tube, or what do they call that? I know that has a name. What's that shape? Elongated tube? I don't know. These are 10 millimeters by about 40. And I've only got one strand of that. They're really nice and beautiful beads. They're very all black. I don't think there's any kind of sardonyx in that. They're really beautiful. Onyx beads, $18 for the strand. One strand available. I know we were doing a lot of black beads the other day. So if anybody's still looking for those, they are. There's some nice black beads right there. We just sold 24. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. That was in a tiny bag. I'm gonna put it in a bigger bag. Torpedo, says Marianne. I could see that, right? I know like Heather Powers creates her beads in that kind of shape a lot of times, and I don't know what she calls her shape when she does that. All right. We got anything else in my bag of goodies that I picked out for today that I think you might like, or do I go into the other bag? Let's see here. sometimes I pick things and I'm like, I don't know about that actually. Let's do this one. This one was 18, and I'll bring it down to 14 as well. This is another beautiful shell, this time in a multicolor. Really super pretty. Some of them are the lighter, some are darker, some are both. They've got a light side and a dark side. Nice facets on them. Little discs. And these are, or coins, faceted coins, I guess. 10 millimeters. And they're SUN Sun 26. All right, let's see here. This is beautiful. And tell me if I get this wrong. I think this is chrysoprase. Chrysoprase, not chrysocol, right? Chrysoprase. I'm gonna do $8 on this. One pendant, faceted, beautiful color. Nice big stone. This is 31 by 40. It's about 30 by 40. One available, just really awesome quality. And probably should price that a little higher, but $8 if somebody wants it tonight. Is my broadcast pausing and then jumping for any of you out there, or is it just me? I don't know if it's just my computer. I'm gonna put these butterflies away. Sun 21s. We just sold Sun 26. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Linus says looks okay for me. Good. Because I was on my screen, it's like jumping, it's pausing and then fast forwarding kind of until the current time, and it keeps doing that. But I noticed it was also doing that earlier when I was trying to play back a video. It's really pretty. Sun 28. Do these at 18. I think that's a low price. These are another onyx. Sun 28. $18. Faceted beads. Really pretty. And these are about 8 millimeters. Yeah, 7.8 to be exact. So 8mm faceted rounds. One strand available. Sun 28. Mhm. Sun 29 is this metal bead. Kind of a chasing repoussé metal bead. It has fish on there. You can see the fish with the kind of leafy items. Beautifully done bead. Was $12. Do it at 10 for you all. And this one is about, we'll say 20 by 36. 20 by 36. Anna says, I had it stop and start a couple times. Huh. Marion says, looks fine to me. Also, hey, Lurker Lennis. Hello, Lennis. Everybody's saying hello, hello. I love this bead. There's a lot of work that goes into that bead to make that. One of them available. Sun 29. And let's see, what am I going to do for the last one? Sun 30. What did I do for the last one? I don't like any of my other tips. So let me look through here. Okay, I love this strand. I don't know if y'all are going to like it or not, but I love it. This is a giant, chunky rainbow moonstone. And move these over, make some room, because it needs some room. I guess a big strand. Sun 30 was $36, now 28. Beautiful, chunky rainbow moonstone, big beads, and you'll see bits of flash here and there. It's not super flashy, but if it hits the right way on a lot of these, like there's one right there, you'll see. Oh, I just saw one and then lost it over here. But you'll see flash. They're just not super flashy, but they are white beads. And they've got these nice, some of these have these really nice bits of black in them, which I think makes it extra special. There's a little flash there. Beautiful, big, white, chunky rainbow moonstone or blue moonstone. $28 for the whole strand. Really nice price on that. One strand available. It's also a vintage strand. 23 millimeters by about 23 on that stone right there. So to give you an idea of size. What do you think of that? That's a nice white strand. Looking for that white. Marianne's going good night. Good night, Marianne. And good night to everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I knew Andrew didn't get to join us tonight, but was napping, and then I think I heard him out there moving around. So I don't know when he got up, but he's also doing some work getting ready for his drop tomorrow. So Andrew's going to have a drop tomorrow night. At some point, we're going to drop his newest work into the online store. That's going to be where you can grab it. So it'll be available there. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure if it's going to be before or after the live tomorrow. So we'll find out during the live. Probably we'll let you know if it's going to be after, of course. Um, and yeah, that's it. Remember, on if you're local, on the 30th, 31st, and 1st, February 1st, we're going to have our mineral specimen rock crystal vault sale. We've pulled out flats and flats and flats and flats of crystals and fossils and rocks and minerals. And we're going to have those on sale at the store in Johnstown that weekend at really nice prices. So we're going to be getting ready for that all over the next few weeks, and we hope you'll join us. We've been talking with Jada's, the jazz cafe across the street, and we're thinking they might be coming up with a fun rock or fossil themed a few menu items maybe. So we'll see what they come up with. We were talking with them about it, so I think that could be really fun too. So if you have any questions, of course, send us an email and we will talk with you very, very, very soon. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for keeping me company tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.